Hey y'all, it's your girl Chef T and welcome to Tasting with T. Today we are making a staple in my household, salmon croquettes. I'm super excited to share this recipe with you all. It's super easy, very tasty, and let's just get into it. So right here we have some salmon in a can. You can use regular fresh salmon if you like, but I prefer the salmon in a can because it's a different flavor. Here we have some of our ingredients, which I'll have them on my website and they'll be listed so you can follow if you like, but I'll just show you a few that we have. We have some red bell pepper. You can use any color. We have some Italian seasoning, Cajun seasoning, paprika, cayenne, all that good jazz. So we're going to start here, move this over here. We're going to start here first with our Raging Cajun, and then we're going to add our garlic powder and onion powder. We have some paprika and cayenne that we'll add as well. And then we are going to add our hot sauce, and we have mayo as well in here. Like I said, don't worry about the measurements. They will all be listed so you can follow along. We have mustard, just regular yellow mustard. We have some green onion. We have shallots, like Gordon Ramsay might say. Shallots or shallot, however you prefer to pronounce it. Then we have some red bell pepper. Next, we're going in with our Old Bay. We have some Italian seasoning, and you can use any brand, it doesn't matter. This happens to be my personal brand, and I'll give you that information towards the end of the show. We have our Italian seasoning here from our Dust to Dawn site seasonings, and we have our Raging Cajun. We call it the New Bay, like the Old Bay. We're going to use both today. And then we have all purpose, which I'm adding in here now. And this is our remoulade sauce, so I'm gonna scoot that over. And then lastly, we'll add our last bit of Cajun. We've added all the ingredients, so we're just gonna give it a mix, and we don't wanna like stir it real hard. We wanna fold it, because if you mix it, it'll start breaking up the pieces, and we kinda want it similar to a crab cake. We want it a little bit chunky, but not too broken up. So we're just gonna toss it just like this. And then we're gonna add 1 squeeze of lemon here. And I just quartered these, so you can quarter them like this. It's easier to squeeze it in here. I've already seeded the lemons, so you don't have to worry about that. If you don't do that prior to, you can just put it over a strainer and they'll fall right in. So we're just folding it as you see here, get it all well incorporated. And now what I like to do is get some gloves. You don't have to get gloves, but I prefer them because it can get a little messy. So I'm going to put some gloves on, and we're going to begin forming our croquettes. Stay right here and we'll be right back. I'm going to start forming these, and I'm going to show you how we can form them and get them in the pan. Welcome back, y'all. So as promised, I told you we were going to start to form our croquette balls. This is what they look like, and you just want to do like a palm size. This will allow them to cook evenly and through all the way. So you just want to do something simple just like that. And then we're going to lay it here and just continue to form them. And I'm going to show you what we're going to batter them in. It's a real simple batter. We're going to season it up really nice. It's a lot right there. Take some out. Don't panic if you have too much. Just take a little bit out. The world will not end. So this recipe also, y'all, it calls for about 2 to 3 servings. You normally get about 4 to 5 patties, so they're pretty nice size. They're pretty big, so everyone can enjoy it. All right, so we're just gonna form our patties here, as you can see. And then we have enough for a little mini one, so we'll do that one in a second. In the meantime, we have some cornmeal and we have some flour. This is about half a cup of each, you guys. Then what we're going to do, take off 1 glove. We're going to go in with some of that Italian seasoning from my seasoning line. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm a southern old gal, so I kind of eyeball stuff, but I know the measurements because I've been cooking for so long. We have some new bay, and we have some all-purpose seasoning as well. All right, and so what we're gonna do is just mix that in, give it a good little mix. Whatever you season your meat or protein with, you want to season your batter too. Nobody wants any bland batter. You want some flavorful seasoned batter. All right, so we're done with that. So what we're going to do with our gloved hand is go in and just easily just pat them just like that. Toss it. This is going to give it a nice little crunch on the outside. Now, if you like it a little more firm, this allows it to be a little more flaky. If you like it a little more firm, you can add an egg. It's totally up to you. It's completely optional. I do it sometimes I don't. So today we're doing it without an egg. And so I'm going to batter the rest of these up. We have put our oil on a medium-low heat. You don't want it to burn. We're just getting the outside kind of crusted and the inside warm. So I'll be right back with you and I'll show you what they look like. Hey y'all, welcome back. We are now up to temp on our oil, so we're gonna just put our croquettes into the oil. We're gonna lay them in there nice and gently so we don't splatter. A nice tip when you're putting things into hot oil is to go from front to back, so that way if it splatters, it doesn't get on you. So we're gonna start here. We're gonna see how many can fit in here. I think I can get all 5 in here. If you can't, don't worry going on the next batch because you don't want to overcrowd your pan. If you overcrowd it, it'll become more like a steam than a fry, and we don't want that. We want a nice little crispiness onto it. All right, so while that's going, you guys, what we're gonna do next is our remoulade sauce. It's super easy. All we have, here are the ingredients, and we have hot sauce, we have some regular yellow mustard, we have mayo, a little bit of our new bay. If you don't have the new bay, you can always use Old Bay or any of your favorite Cajun seasonings. Some people like relish in their remoulade. I really don't. So if you want to add it, feel free to add it. It's your recipe. This is just a pointer. This is just the tip of it. We have another lemon wedge we're going to squeeze in here. And then we're just going to give it a nice stir. Just like this. And once we're done with this, we'll set it to the side and we'll serve it with our croquettes. They're so similar. All right, so this is what it looks like. This is the consistency we like. Give it a taste. See, that's super good. Nice kick, nice acid. That's perfect. I'll be right back with the croquettes and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna plate them with the remoulade sauce. Stay here. Y'all, look what we have whipped up here. This is our staple, you guys. Our salmon croquettes are done. Our remoulade sauce is done. We're just gonna put a little bit of parsley on it for a little color and pizzazz. And of course, y'all know we gotta taste it because it's just only right to do it. All right, we're also gonna put a little bit of our new bay in there as well. Just adds a little bit of color to your plate. All right, boom. So I have my fork, y'all. I'm going in for the gusto. I'm gonna taste it without the remoulade first. Y'all, you have got to try this recipe. It is so good. Crispy on the outside, nice and tender like I told y'all it would be. You get the hint of lemon, the spice, you get those hints of bell pepper. Let's try with the remoulade now. Winner winner chicken dinner. Y'all have got to try this recipe. But wait, there's more. Stay tuned, and when we come back, we're going to be making another staple in Texas, where I'm from, Austin. Shrimp and grits. Stay right there. Welcome back to Tasting with Teas. As promised, we are going to make our famous signature shrimp and grits. Y'all, this is a staple on our website. Everybody orders this and it sells out every time we make it. It's simple, simple, simple. We're going to start out with our ingredients that we have here. We have some garlic, some lemon, some green onion, some red bell pepper. You can use red, green, yellow. They all serve the same purpose. Today I'm using red. We have some shallots, we have some Parmesan that we're going to use for our sauce a little later. And then we have our grits ingredients, which is just cornmeal. I like to use the stone ground cornmeal. It gives it a really, really fluffy, buttery texture. So if you've ever in the grocery store, I recommend you get that. Then we have some butter that's going to go in at the end. And then we have some more Parmesan. And I don't know if I mentioned shallots, but we have shallots. This is like a key ingredient. It's very, very good and adds good flavor. So for our shrimp, we're going to go in with a simple seasoning on it. And that is our New Bay Ragin' Cajun, which y'all, I told you I'm a Southern girl. I'll just be looking. I know when they say, tell me when, that's when we stop. So we have another seasoning of mine. This is our Italian seasoning. We're gonna put a little bit of that in there. And lastly, we have some all-purpose. Now y'all, a quick story on these seasonings. I was very hypertension, had high blood pressure. I couldn't find a good seasoning. I'm like a flavor bomb girl. I couldn't find a good seasoning that had enough pack and punch that didn't have salt. So I just went in the lab and started creating my own. And once I got it tested and everything, voila, I ended up with my own seasoning line. It's very flavorful. It's on our website. I'll let you know at the end where you can find it. And just like that, that's all we need. So our pot has been preheating, you guys, on a medium-high heat because we want a nice sear. Again, we're not boiling our shrimp, we're getting a nice sear on it. So we have a little bit of olive oil we're gonna put on there. Another good trick, y'all, if you're adding butter to anything, olive oil prevents it from burning. So if you ever add butter to a hot skillet, add a little bit of olive oil and it'll help prevent it from burning. That's what you wanna hear, y'all, the sizzle. We're gonna let that kind of melt in there. Now, if I didn't put the olive oil in, y'all, it would have burnt already and you would have had brown butter shrimp and grits. That's not what we're looking for. So we're just gonna melt that. And then we're gonna go in with our shrimp. Just like that. And just kind of spread them out and make sure they're evenly distributed in the pot. That way you get a good color on all of them because it's gonna matter at the end for your presentation. All right, so I'm gonna get those going right there and then we'll be back and I'll show you how we're gonna put those grits on the pot. Welcome back, y'all. Our shrimp are nice and golden, so they are ready to come out. We have started our grits liquid, not the grits yet, but we started the liquid and we have it on like a medium high so we can get it nice and boiling and ready and prepared for our grits to go in. And for that, y'all, we just put some water and a little bit of half and half. You can use milk, you can use cream. It just gives it an extra creamier, fluffier texture, same as the grits. All right, so now that we have all of our shrimp just about out, all this yumminess at the bottom, don't take it out. We're gonna leave it in there. That has tons of flavor. So we're gonna go in with a tablespoon of butter. And then what we're gonna add is, we're gonna add our bell peppers first. Let's see, we have our thing here. Just let it melt. Still has a little olive oil, as you see, so it's not gonna burn. We have our red bell peppers we'll put in. Next, we have our shallots. Now, another thing I forgot to tell you guys, when you take the shrimp out, you wanna lower the heat to like a low medium because you don't want anything to burn before we start to deglaze. So we're just gonna get these nice and translucent, not too soft, just kind of right in the middle. Now we're adding our green onions and our garlic. We're doing that last because butter tends to burn garlic or oil. Either way, garlic burns and it becomes real bitter and it's not a very pleasant taste. So we're gonna add that last. Now that we've cut it down a little bit, you can hear the sizzle kind of going down. What we're gonna add next is our sherry wine. Now you can find this in your local grocery store. We use a sherry cooking wine. You can also use a white wine, but this one I prefer because it has a good pungent flavor. So we're gonna add some of that there. Again, we're just gonna stop when we say when. When. So we're gonna let this kind of reduce to about half. And when I say reduce by half, it just means basically till the mixture is kind of evaporated and the alcohol burns off of it. All right, so we'll be right back. We're gonna finish this and we'll get our grits started, so don't go anywhere. All right, y'all, we are ready to start our grits. Right before the break, I was telling you that our water and our milk was boiling, so it is ready, y'all. We're gonna stir that into there and have a whisk. This is the best option to use because it gets those clumps out when you put it in there. So we're going to use a whisk and just kind of whisk it in as we are pouring it. Make sure it's all nice and non-clumpy. We don't want it clumpy. And then once we do that, it doesn't take long, y'all. Going to keep whisking. Right, then we're going to add our Parmesan cheese into our grits, just like that. Like so. All right, and then again, you just keep whisking because you don't want it to stick. You don't want it to clump up. And we have it on a medium high. We're going to put it down to like a 4, which is like a low medium. And we're just going to continue stirring it. Let's put it down. Continue stirring it just like that. And then we're going to go in with our butter. We have a tablespoon of butter. You can add more if you like, because butter makes everything better. But today we're adding just a little bit of butter, and that's slightly because this only feeds about 3 to 4 people. So of course, if you double it, you're gonna add, you know, double the butter. So we're just gonna continue stirring. As you can see, it's starting to get nice and creamy, just like we like. So we're gonna go in next with our cheese. Now this is a 4 cheese blend. You can use whatever cheese you like. I prefer like Havarti, Gouda, sharp cheddar. It has a lot of pungent flavors. And we're just gonna stir that in as well. You want your grits nice and creamy, not too lumpy, not too hard, or thick, or runny. You want them like a consistency right in the middle. All right, so we're just gonna cut this down, y'all, to like a 1, which is like a low heat, kind of like a simmer, because we don't wanna burn it. We don't want it to continue cooking. But as you see, this is like a nice texture that we're looking for, especially for the dish that we're making. We're making a savory dish, so this is like perfect. All right, so we're just gonna let that sit for a second. I want you to come here to our shrimp pan and see how well that wine has reduced is what basically we're looking for. So next we're gonna go in with our heavy whipping cream, just like that. And then we're gonna stir until it starts to thicken. And before we do that, we're gonna add some Parmesan cheese to this as well. This is a cheesy, if you can't tell, cheesy shrimp and grits dish, so it's cheese everywhere. Adding cheese all through it. So we'll let that continue, cut it up just a notch. And we want it to come to a boil, so we'll let that do its thing. We have a little bit of chicken broth. Now this adds a little bit of flavor, y'all. If you ever boil noodles, you boil potatoes, you want to add in some chicken broth. It adds a depth of flavor. And normally I add it in when I'm boiling my water, but adding it at the end still has that flavor point that you're looking for. So don't worry about that. All right, so while this finishes on simmer and we continue to let this thicken up, come back and we're gonna show you how this is gonna get plated up. Stay right there. All right, y'all, it is time for the moment of truth. We are about to plate our shrimp and grits. And before we do that, I'm just gonna give it a taste, because you always taste your food, just to make sure we're right and we're in the ballpark of what we're looking for. So let's give it a taste. I feel like I could add some more butter. Yeah, we'll add some more butter. We'll put a little butter in there. Whip it in. That'll add to the creaminess of it. Stir it up just like that. Once it gets melted, let me plate this here. And see, y'all, this is the consistency that you're looking for. It's nice and creamy. It's not too thick, not too runny, and you can see the cheese all through it. Don't worry about that. We're gonna clean it up and make it look real pretty when we're done. So we'll move this back here because we're done with that. Next, we're gonna add some of our shrimp on here. Again, y'all, this feeds like 3 to 4 people. So they'll get about 5 shrimp a piece about, which is typical when you go to like a restaurant or something. So that's what we'll do with that. And then we have our spoon for our sauce. The sauce came out nice and creamy, y'all. Y'all saw how it reduced. Make sure you reduce it, because if you don't, you're gonna end up coming out with like, I don't know, a plate full of alcohol, and you don't want that. Not very good. So we're gonna put this on here, and I really want y'all to follow me and stay tuned. I'm gonna drop in my handles in a minute, but I want y'all to stay tuned because I am gonna have a cookbook, and you can find this recipe, this exact recipe, in my cookbook, Southern Modern Flair. And you can also get our kids cookbook that's gonna be coming out called These Kids Is Hungry, because they be hungry when they get out of school. So they can follow along too. The chefs don't always just have to be the parents. All right, so now we get a little napkin so we can make our plate clean. Presentation is everything. We eat with our eyes. Always remember that. All right, so then at the end, what we're gonna do is go in. We have those scallions I showed y'all at the beginning. We're just gonna kind of put these on there just like that, just for a little color, little pop of color. And then we have a little lemon. We're gonna put that here on the side. And then at the end, we're gonna actually go in with a little bit of parsley, and guess what? Some more New Bay. It's gonna give some color and a little kick at the end. So just mix that up just like that, and just kind of sprinkle it, and then sprinkle it around the plate, just like so. Boom. So there you have it. This is our shrimp and grits with a creamy white wine slash sherry wine sauce. You can use either or again. So now let's give it a taste. It's only right that we give it a taste and just dive in. Ooh, this looks so good. Let's see. What can I say? It's so good. I wish you were here to taste it. The aroma in here is bananas. If you walked in here, you would really be like, what's that? Grits are creamy. Sauce is impeccable. It's on point. Stay tuned for that cookbook I told y'all about. I'm gonna hop off camera so I can finish digging in. But I'll see y'all in a minute for dessert, so save room. Hey y'all, welcome back. So now we are here. I hope you saved your appetite for a dessert, because I have a special one for you today. This is one of my grandmother's recipes. It's so easy. She has a ton, but this is one of the ones that's a real, easy staple in our family. So here we have some ingredients, which we have some butter, unsalted butter. We have sugar, which we broke up into 2 because we're going to use one for the crust and one for the berries. Then we have a little bit of baking powder and a teeny bit of salt, like 1/8 of salt. Then we have about a cup of some milk, and we have some flour, which this is about 1/2 to a 3/4 cup of flour. So let's jump right in and show you this easy recipe and get started. So we're just gonna put 1/2 of that sugar into the blackberry mixture and just give it a toss just like that. And then we're going to set it to the side. Again, don't worry about the measurements, because you will be able to have that on the site and in that cookbook. So we're going to set this to the side just like that, and just let them get all, married and together. So then next, what we're going to do is make the crust for the blackberry cobbler. While we're doing that, we're going to put the butter into our pan, and we are going to let that melt. We're going to put it in the oven on a preheated oven, about 350 to 375, and we're going to let that melt. So actually, let me do that so we can get that going, and then when I come back, we're going to start on that crust for the cobbler. So stay right there. All right, y'all, so our butter is melted. Did you miss me? Because I missed y'all. Our butter is melted. We have our blackberries that have been sitting here in our sugar. Now we're gonna start that crust that we're gonna put into our pan. We have some flour here, about 3/4 cups of flour. We have about 1/2 cup of sugar in here. And then we have some baking powder that we're gonna add in here. This is about 1.5 tablespoons. And then we have some milk. This is about 1 cup of milk. This is going to be for our crust. You can use regular crust, but this one also works too. And it's very, very good. It's really delicious. So we're just gonna incorporate this well, just like that. And then the next thing we're gonna put it into our pan with our blackberries and our butter. So we just wanna get it nice and incorporate it into the mixture, just like that. And if you notice something is off, you can always just deviate and add a little more. Like right now I'm seeing it's a little bit on the runny side. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of flour in here. And when I say a little bit, I'm gonna add a little bit, not a lot. I'm gonna add a little bit more flour because it's supposed to create like a dough. So that's what we're gonna be looking for. And then it'll help it also bake in it when it's in the oven. Yeah, so that's what we needed right there. So make sure we incorporate that nice and well. And then what we're gonna do, this pan is hot, so we got a little pot holder here. Make sure all the butter is all through each side. And then we're gonna pour this down first because it's gonna rise over our blackberries. You're probably thinking you should put it in after, but trust the process. All right, so we're gonna go in with the mixture for our crust, just like that. Perfect. Then, next, we're going to put our blackberries in right after that. Make sure you go in again, make sure that sugar is all coated in there so everything is all together. Spread it out like that. Now our oven has been preheating, y'all, for about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So it's ready, it's on 375. We're gonna place this baby in and then we're gonna come back and show you what it looks like, the final product looks like. Don't go nowhere, y'all, because this is really a staple in my heart. See y'all in a minute. Welcome back, y'all. Just to give you a little recap, our blackberry cobbler just came out the oven. It's nice and hot. We're gonna plate this up so you can see what it looks like. It has a nice crust. Oh goodness, it smells so delicious. Put that in there. Now if you want to, you can add a little ice cream. I personally have a little side of ice cream that I'm gonna put right on here. And then you can create like a little a la mode. So we have that right here on top. Boom. Don't get no better than that. My grandma's gonna be so proud of me. So of course we have to go in with a little taste. We're gonna get some of the blackberries, that crust, some ice cream. Let's see. It's so good. That crust, guys, you don't need a crust. This is kind of similar to a dump cake. Very, very soft, very crusty on the top, and that ice cream just adds the extra to it. So I hope you give this a try. Just to recap everything we made here today, we started off with our salmon croquettes and our homemade remoulade sauce. Then we came over to our main, which is shrimp and grits. Again, that's a staple in our hometown, Texas, Austin, Texas to be exact. And then we finished it with a sweet, decadent dessert. It's really light, it's not dense. Our blackberry cobbler. Remember, add a little bit of ice cream on the end. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed you guys today. Our website is dusttodawncatering.com, and don't forget, as promised, I told you I would leave the information for these seasonings. You can find them on there and we'll ship these out right to you. All of our handles are the same, so if you like to look us up on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, there we have some ingredients and recipes that we can that we share with you. that you can follow along on. So be sure to follow all of our handles at Dusk to Dawn Catering or Dusk to Dawn Catering LLC, and visit our website for all the latest news, dusktodawncatering.com, and we'll see you right back here on Tasting with Teas. Thank you.